Hello, my name is Najah Roberts, and I would like to welcome you to the Virtual Underground Railroad. I'm really excited about this platform, and the reason why is because I got into financial services about 12 years ago, myself and my husband, because we really thought that we could be the change that we wanted to see. But the deeper we dove into financial services and the products that were being offered, we really realized that we couldn't help close the wealth gap, which is what both of us aspire to do. So the reason I'm super excited about this platform is because you're going to gain so much information. Listen, let's just keep it. Would they tell us, are we good? All right. So we are currently live here at Crypto Blockchain Plug, and I just want to say welcome to each and every one of you, and thank you all for joining in today. We have some phenomenal brothers here, and they're going to share their cryptocurrency, their token, and the reason why we hold Coin-O-Nomics is because we really want to make sure that our community understands firsthand what they need to be taking a look at and what they don't need to be taking a look at. And we're very upfront and honest with our community because we feel like if they're not informed properly, they get hurt and they get involved in scams and different things of that sort, which is why we have such a big scam awareness room going on right now that happens every Tuesday because the scammers are out there. But I feel like if you know who's in charge of projects, if you know their passion, if you know about them, and you really get to dig deep into their project, it helps us out. It helps us out as a community, but it also helps them out with their mission because they are allowing us as a community to help carry them through the different milestones that they need to be carried through in their business. And so that being said, I am going to kind of lay the foundation for what Coin-O-Nomics is and how we're going to talk to these brothers today. And again, they are clean, cut, and dapper. So if you want to get on live, please feel free to do so. If you have any questions about their token, please hold it to the end. We're going to allow you to ask questions online, as well as we're going to allow you to ask questions on Clubhouse. So just be patient. There will be some time for you. And what we're going to do, or how we really treat Coin-O-Nomics, is we treat it kind of like a Shark Tank. So we're going to ask the questions that people don't typically ask. So if they're hard questions, just know we need hard answers because we want our community to feel safe, and we want our community to know if they're investing in something or investing in somebody, that their fiber and their character and all of those things are in place before we do so. So I am going to be quiet right now. We got a couple of questions. This is real impromptu. You know, we didn't line up questions. I don't do that, even though Erica says give the guests questions. We want to know that they know their stuff because they're talking to our community. And so, you know, they're already prepared. I could tell these brothers are prepared. The first time I met them, they were ready. And so we're going to just ask them to introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about your upbringing, not your project, your upbringing, because we talk to everybody all around the U.S. We are building Silicon hoods, and we really feel like your company and your token, because it's not just the company, but it's a company and a token and an extra bonus company. So we're going to hear about all that today. So tell us a little bit about, introduce yourself, who you are, and then how did you grow up? Where do where did you grow up, and all those things?
Well, I'm André Villeroy. I'm the founder of Beyorch and Beyorch Digital and Beyorch Foundation. I grew up in the Bay Area in California, north of San Francisco, Vallejo, California. My upbringing was pretty simple, straightforward. I was raised in the church.
Okay.
I'm a PK.
Okay, pastor's kid, a preacher's kid, pastor's kid.
You're right.
For those of you that don't know what PK is.
You're right. Yeah. So so I was one of those. I wanted to get away. I wanted to go out there and see what was extra? What was out there, besides the church? And so that was pretty much me, but grew up in music, love music even to this day. I grew up playing the drums and keyboard and organ and all that stuff because my parents made me. And so it was one of those things. But I would say professionally, I was always a little left and center, trying to find my frequency, in the world. And it was very challenging because, I grew up not knowing my biological father at all, but had an amazing stepfather that obviously, to me in my heart, he's not my stepfather, he's my dad.
Mm-hmm.
But there was always a part of me that couldn't identify fully with, what was going on because I didn't know enough. And I was having a search of, who my biological father was. Would I know this guy if I'd seen him?
Mm-hmm.
Why do I have these certain abilities? I've always been extremely creative and wondering where it came from and all of those things, and just it was hard. I actually met my father when I was 30 years old.
Okay.
It didn't go well.
Okay.
All the emotions came up, and so I didn't realize how mad I was, how I was really bound by anger. And I knew that I didn't want to feel that way. And, since then, he's done a decent job of, typically he checks up on me once a year. And that's how we move forward.
Okay.
And for him, considering his track record, that's pretty good, right?
Okay.
But that's I guess that was, it became a part of what not to do for my own children.
Okay.
And it has helped shape me. It sounds crazy, but I wouldn't change it for the world because I love my life. I'm married, been married now for about 16 years.
Okay.
I've learned a great deal from my marriage, from my wife. She's one of the smartest women that I personally know. And she's helped me just with a lot. I've learned patience. I've learned the true meaning of love. I've learned forgiveness. Mm-hmm. And ultimately that has helped shape my values in business. There's no real cookie cutter. It's like you have to have all these skills, just have them and then move forward in faith and vision, and somehow success will find you. Mm-hmm. Those are one of the things that I've learned. And it's really true. And I'm just so happy to be here.
Well, thank you. And I really resonate with the father thing. And so my biological father, I call him my sperm donor, by the way. And my father that raised me, I really feel like that was my father. And he is my father. Right. And he did an incredible job. And my reconciliation with my father did not go because I'll tell y'all offline when I wind up telling him. So he wound up telling me, just lose my number. I said, dude, I already did. So it is. So at least you get the checkup.
Yeah, I get the checkup
once a year. So anyway, it just is what it is. And we have to take and understand that God knew who needed to raise us, right, or we wouldn't be who we are today. And so just be absolutely grateful for his divine intervention. I will say it that way. Yeah, definitely.
It's interesting because, I look at it now and, before just years, obviously I had all this anger, mm-hmm. You're upset. You don't know why. You just want to know why. And they can't give you why. And even the why that, he gave me wasn't good enough. So it's like, okay, yeah, but it can't just be because you were dumb. Like, that's your answer? You were young and dumb? Like, no. What else? There has to be something else. Tell me what it is. Yeah. Is it me? Was it me? And so, but it taught me, man, like, I don't regret any of it. It's fine. Yeah. It's great. In fact, it helped me because, for me, I looked at, well, I feel like I have a lot of his great qualities, and I was able to manually go in and shift so that I don't have his negative qualities.
Right. And that's all good. That's why you're sitting here today.
Yes.
With some phenomenal companies that you're going to share with us. Yes, because it could have been so different. Right. Yes. And so who do you have sitting next to you today?
This is my chief digital officer, Kenny Bereal, and he's going to take it from there.
All right, Mr.
I always
Kenny.
have these compelling stories. I really hate going. I should have just did it first. So yeah, my name is Kenny Bereal. I grew up a church boy too, all my life in the church.
All right.
Father, grandfather, aunties, everybody in the church. And someone like Andre, when I got old enough, I was out. I left for college at like 17. Um, you know, and I did everything I could. Play as the greatest frat in the world, A5.
Okay.
Everybody out there.
Okay.
And then while in college, I got into music. My family has always been into music, and I really felt like a love and a passion for music. So I literally like hurried up and finished college in like 3 years. But I didn't want to come home, so I stayed there, even though I was done. And I started working on music, and I got into music, and had a lot of success. I became a multi-platinum award-winning music producer, songwriter, and then from there, I just used everything I learned in college, business-wise and things like that. I started my own management company, record company, released some projects, managed a bunch of artists, sold millions of records. So a lot of my success came in the music industry.
Okay.
And then I just used that to really kind of transition into other things. Like I got into tech, I got into different projects and things like that. And, which ultimately led me to Andre, one of my relatives who, in the church that they went to Andre's church, like, yo, you got to get with Andre, with your mind and his mind and with you guys, what you have going on. I think you guys would be great. You should talk to him. And we spoke, and here we are.
That is incredible. Incredible. I was just going to ask one of the first questions. So with your background, how did you wind up into the tech space if most of what you did was in music?
So
first you. Let me let you go.
So for me, I was in music for some years, and it was at a time when like Facebook was launching, Twitter, and everybody wanted to team up with celebrities to push their brand. And I had a Rolodex of celebrities, and so this guy who was starting this tech company, and he came to me and he came up to my studio and said, hey, here's my technology. This is what I'm trying to do. And he was working on this app that had to do with music and stuff like that. And he's like, can you, speak to some celebrities to kind of get behind what I'm doing? And, we worked out a deal. And I brought him like over 200 celebrities to endorse his app. The company blew up. The company sold for $150 million. He got in the wind, didn't pay anybody, but from that, I actually started working for the company, and so I was always, kind of techie. I was into computers. I already knew all that stuff, and so working at that company helped me develop, the mind of where technology was going and how it worked, and I just kind of stayed in that field. So I went from that company to a couple of other startups, and really just kind of stayed in the tech field. So I kind of was like entertainment and technology were the two things I was juggling back and forth.
Okay. Yeah. All right. And what about you?
What happened? For me, it was stepping stones. So I was born insanely ambitious, and I don't even know why. I can't even answer that question. But I was owning homes at age 24, 23, 24 on a fourplex single family home. From there, I got into private finance. Then I wanted more. I wanted to, I thought I was going to own I thought I was going to start a hedge fund. Okay. That's what I thought. Okay. And the more and more, I moved forward and pressed, and I started meeting people, and, a lot of, Wall Street guys were, they were directing me differently. They were saying, it's really not where you want to be. You really want to be in private equity. Okay. So then I switched, and things started formulating more and more. The deeper that I got into things, and I'm making money at the same time. I'm trying to start my own while I was still doing a bunch of freelance and partnering with some of these guys, on creative bond deals, and I've done so much, and ventured off, and eventually I slowed down and I said, okay, I'm making all this money, but I don't feel like I thought I would feel.
Okay.
A few $1 million later, you're still feeling empty. And so then it was kind of one of those things I was going through with my wife, and just nothing was adding up to me. What I thought made sense didn't. And so I had to seek within.
Right.
And eventually, it was kind of like it was an inner, for me, it was God, right? And I heard these words, go beyond anything you've ever achieved, anything, imagine better than the best you know, go beyond rich, right? So then I started formulating these words, go beyond rich, and I kind of took the letters and rearranged them, and then here comes Beyorch, literally from that messaging, and then I began to build upon the values and what things meant to me. And then you don't really know that your past links to your future. And so all of my experience, I didn't know what I was going to actually do. I didn't know what this company was, but I kept building, just building blocks. And it encompassed everything that I've done in private finance, and all the wealth that I've seen, accumulated, made for others, done, been a part of. And it just started formulating into a hybrid merchant bank, where filling the hole in the market, with all this stuff, it was just crazy. Just things just kept coming to me. It was just, for me, it was like
manifesting.
Yes, it was just building blocks. It's like
building blocks
falling in place.
And you answered one of my questions, because I was going to ask you, where in the world did Beyorch come from? Beyorch, because I thought, well, maybe they were Beyonce. At first, I didn't even know how to explain because she's into some financial things, and I'm thinking, well, maybe they're part of her. So that's where it came from.
Yeah,
you just took and rearranged some letters, and
it's crazy. I mean, and people, I get this question asked all the time. I know it sounds crazy, but this is you want to know where it came from. I know it sounds corny, but that's what I did.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, Kenneth, where were you the first time you heard about Bitcoin specifically?
It was around 2017.
Okay.
And one of my dad's business partners, he called me up and he was like, "Hey, man, I want you to buy some Bitcoin and join this MLM group." It was an MLM group. And he's like, "Man, it's going to make you a lot of money. It's going to be hot." And so I heard about Bitcoin, but I didn't buy it. But let me go back. The first time I heard about it is one of my roommates in college. He got to Bitcoin when it was nothing, and sold it like in some video game stuff.
Okay.
To get like some more points in video games. Mm-hmm. And all the Bitcoins he was sitting on probably would have made him a millionaire now, but he got rid of it. Mm-hmm. So we kind of knew what Bitcoin was. So when he called me to get involved, I was like, all right, I'll get involved. Got involved. The MLM didn't work out. I kept my Bitcoin.
Y'all hear that? The MLM did not work out. Do y'all hear that? The MLM did not work out. I'm making sure Clubhouse gets it and the World Wide Web gets it. Most of the MLMs do not work out. So I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Did not work out at all. But I still kept my Bitcoin. I had some in Coinbase, and I think I had some in blockchain.com. I had 2 separate accounts. And, of course, the market crashed, and I just let it sit there. I didn't touch it. And then I got back into Bitcoin again, like really took it seriously, when someone else called me again about it, MLM. And I was like,
it goes around our community.
I was like, I'm already in crypto. I got Bitcoin. And it's like, no, but you got to get in this MLM. I got involved. But from there, I met some cool people and really kind of start really getting in communities. And that's when I just really start going hard again and really start looking at other coins, other tokens and things like that. And, just started doing my own research.
Okay.
And got rid of all the MLM stuff.
All right.
I think that's where I even, I won't say met you, but I heard you in Clubhouse, the Black Bitcoin Billionaires. I joined the Black Bitcoin Billionaires, and I believe you would speak. and Lamar and some other folks.
Okay.
And so, I would tune into that all the time. I was a part of Tip's group, Reginald.
Okay.
So, just
Okay.
linking up with people and just really
Okay.
educating myself. Yeah.
All right. So Andre, where were you when you first heard about Bitcoin?
I do remember. So I didn't believe in it. I was the hardcore man. What is this nonsense? This is not gonna work. Crazy people. What are you guys on? Because I looked at it how I shouldn't have looked at it. I looked at it as a replacement for US dollar, right? Your guys are gonna go up against the US dollar. You're never gonna win. That's not gonna work. And I think that was around 2000 and I want to say 11, 10 to 12.
Wow. Okay.
Right up in there, somewhere up in there.
Yeah.
12, maybe even 13, somewhere up in there. But that's what was going on, and I was hearing it because, of course, I'm in the circle,
Right.
With money, and I just thought they were done. I did.
Okay.
As innovative as my brain is, I couldn't perceive how it would work for the lack of understanding.
And so, when did you get an epiphany that this could possibly work?
I have to give credit to Kenny. He bugged the crap out of me for a year. It took him a year, and it was. Here's the thing: he didn't break down stubborn walls. He broke my attention because I was just so focused on everything else we were doing on the other side, and I'm just like, okay, yeah. He's like, Drake, listen. He's sending me links, sending me things of what's going on in the industry. Look, this company's doing this, and I'm like, yeah. And I'm like still working, and then finally, I took a step back. Actually, was really doing the pandemic.
Okay.
And he's like, Drake, and he sent me more stuff, and I'm like, hey. Kenny, this stuff is crazy, man. I know. I've been trying to tell you. And I'm like, okay, well, how do we do that? Like, well, what do we need to do? And so it took us about, I guess, a year or whatever the timing of it was. But now we're here and we pressed hard. Honestly, we shifted and really hard. And we built everything out that we needed to. But
okay.
Yeah, it's great.
So, and I want to make sure that our listeners are clear that you all started this. Well, that's one of our questions too. So the company was actually started around when?
2018.
2018 is when you started the company, and you started in another way, but you shifted into cryptocurrency?
Yes, as an addition.
Okay.
So we were, by proper definition, we were never looking to get into crypto. It became a viable product to, now we understand, of course, but then it was really just a way to really power the engine of the hybrid merchant bank. And then now we shifted even more. That's just how it is in business. You start off one way and you begin to build, and it's kind of telling you what it needs.
Right.
And that's what we did.
So there's two different companies. And so why don't you just explain to the viewers and the listeners the foundation of the original company, and then kind of spin us off into the second company, and then help us tie all of that into how it now equates to cryptocurrency.
Okay, I'll take your. So Beyorch Incorporated is a hybrid merchant bank. So what that means is that we focus our initiatives on helping companies that need capital, that are typically limited to venture capital, space. Where you got to sell equity, in order to receive a dollar.
Right.
We're looking at this a little different. We're saying, you know what, keep your equity dilution. We don't really want you to forfeit that. Instead, we're going to give you money to grow your business. However, for us, we found a way to mitigate risk by only targeting companies with an IPO focus.
Okay. So a company would have to eventually have an IPO focus.
Yes.
And then what, you get shares at that point, or how does that pan?
So we did this the real initiative is our investors. So the investors that, as an example, I use this example all the time. So, you look at Uber, you look at Lyft, you look at other companies that are really unicorns. Well, from an investor standpoint, you see all the action that's going on, but there's never been a way for you to actually capitalize on that, not traditionally.
Okay.
And so what we did was we created a product called Beyorch Accredited Investor. to allow those guys to invest in these early stage unicorns that are becoming big, right? And so we're controlling the market, ensuring that giving the market something that it never had. Companies that limited capital, you suffer equity dilution, but we can give these guys the capital and get them where they need to go, while at the same time serving the investors, getting them the opportunity to invest in your Ubers or your whatever any of these unicorns that are becoming big that are actually part of our ecosystem. We're sharing the wealth. That's what this is about.
All right, and I'm smiling because I just wish that you all were around in 2001. I haven't even shared on Black Bitcoin Billionaires or until this day. You just said that I literally had, and this is fact check, the first restaurant delivery company in California, period. It was called Diner Dash.
Wow. And
I did that back in 2001. Before anybody was doing restaurant delivery, I had one up in Apple Valley, and it's a long story. We'll get into that after this, but I literally had I had the right VCs or access to capital, it would have done so much. I would have been able to keep it open. I just couldn't wait for the Visas and the MasterCards to send me my money a week later, and I'm paying staff and paying for food, and so it became really hard for me to do. But what you're talking about is really, really critically important to new businesses coming up, because not only do VCs not take a look at our great ideas, they steal them and then they do something else. So who knows who might have taken my idea, but literally fact checking, I had Diner Dash back in 2001 here in California. And so this is incredible for anybody that's listening, anybody that's online that has a business that will eventually be a unicorn, because we're going to do some billion-dollar businesses. For those of you who don't know what a unicorn business is, it is a business with a valuation over $1 billion. And there are very, very few African-American unicorns. And in fact, in the UK, we did a study, because I just did a BBC interview, and there were 0. So we've got to really make sure that we have access to capital. So I think what you're doing is incredible. I read some of your things, and so I appreciate that. But just helping people really understand what the conversation is about today. So, so that's company number 1.
Yes.
And we'll talk about how folks maybe can reach out and get you some information about maybe some of the things that they're doing in a little bit. But for for the digital side, so what does that look like? If you would like to share with us,
so
Mr. Kenneth.
The digital side is just a spinoff from Beyorch Inc. So what we decided to do was, we said, because crypto is becoming so popular, let's offer the same concept, but for people that are in the crypto community. So we can do the same thing. We can offer loans to people who want to leverage their crypto and they need loans, and offer high returns for people who just want to invest their crypto or park their crypto. And I said, look, let's create a token that can live in our ecosystem. So it would work like this. Somebody on the traditional side, they want to come and they want to get a loan from us. Or then you have an investor and they want to invest in these pre-IPO companies. Well, instead of them giving us fiat dollars or paying their loan in fiat dollars, have them purchase our token. And if they purchase our token and use our token instead of dollars, we give them much better interest rates for their loan. And if they use our tokens to invest instead of investing their dollars, we give them a much higher return for their investment. So that way our token keeps circulating through our ecosystem, not only on the digital side, but on the traditional side.
So it has a utility.
Yes.
It has a utility. All right. So let's back up a little bit, because let's say because there's 2 separate sides, as we know. So as far as the loans are concerned, because what we talk about on the Black Bitcoin Billionaires, as well as any of my social media or any of my clients, we really try to ensure that people don't sell their Bitcoin too premature. Just like you said, your roommate sold his Bitcoin for video games. He'd be a multi-millionaire right
Yes,
now.
yes.
I've sold Bitcoin sold it, meaning took some Bitcoin and bought some items I had no business. I tell the story all the time. Bed Bath & Beyond made an announcement they were accepting Bitcoin. I ran out and bought a juicer. That juicer is well over $2,000 right now, sitting on my counter, but only paid $150 in Bitcoin. So we're trying to make sure that our community does not make the same mistakes that we made. So are these just business loans, or can this be an individual that comes to you all and says, look, I've got 2 Bitcoin, I don't want to sell it. Can I get a loan against it because maybe I need to do something, and then they pay the loan rate? Like, is this just businesses, or can this be personal?
So on the crypto side, is business and personal.
Okay.
So if you have Bitcoin, you don't want to sell it, you just want to leverage it for a temporary loan. Yes, definitely.
So you would be the Black Celsius.
Yes.
So we have sitting here, folks, the Black Celsius. And let me tell you this. I can tell y'all some stories because my staff can verify. We just sent something out to Celsius today just to really figure out what programs they have and how they're working, because we've really got to work with some folks to make sure when people are in a pinch or people just really want to leverage their asset and not providing any financial advice to anybody. This is for edutainment purposes only. Just making sure that people know that they can go to somebody safe and secure to get a loan if they need to, if they can't just hold on to Bitcoin. I call it the asset, even though they say it's the property. But whatever it is, the property, the asset, where they can, leverage that and do something that they really need to do without having to sell. Because I share all the time that Bitcoin is like a lemon on the tree. If it's green and you pull it off and you lay it on your counter, it will never get yellow, ever, ever, ever. But if you leave it on the tree and it gets ripe, then you can pull it off and do the things that you need to do. And Bitcoin is still that green lemon on the tree. And we got to wait to let it get ripe and do what it's going to do. But we got to provide people with options. We cannot just preach, hold it, because there's some times when you need a transmission. Like, we are in the hood. Folks need stuff. You need a roof. You need some other things. And so to know that Beyorch has those services is really, really great. So let's really get into the tokenomics, because that's what we're here about today. We want to know about the tokenomics of your particular token. So how many are there? Well, I mean, what's your plans? How many are available?
So there is 500 million tokens.
500 million tokens.
500 million tokens available. And out of those tokens, so there is 5% that's going to advisors, 5% going to partners, another 10% going to the team. The rest is going into the liquidity pool. There's a tax on every purchase. So there is 4%, a 4% tax that goes to our scholarship wallet. And this is where our Beyorch Foundation comes in. We want to give back to our community, because it's our community that's going to actually help us grow and make us become the success that we're trying to be. So 4% of every purchase automatically goes to the scholarship wallets to help HBCU students. It helps them with rewards cards and a student loan payback program. So, and then there's another 2% that goes to reflection and static rewards just for holding our token. You automatically just get rewards.
Like staking.
Yes.
So when you say purchase, explain that, because I know a lot of people may be saying purchase what?
So when you purchase a token, automatically there's a tax on the token when you buy it.
Okay.
So and the taxes just automatically built in, kind of like how you get gas fees tax when you buy something. So when you purchase that token, the tax automatically comes out. A percentage goes to our scholarship fund. A percentage goes back to all the token holders. A percentage goes back to liquidity. So we always want to have liquidity going back to the token. And then there's a percentage that goes to our marketing wallet. So
Okay.
continue to market.
And so the hard question I'm going to ask you is, because you put that tax on top of the cost of the actual token, correct?
Yes.
Are there any other companies that are charging a tax on top of their token?
Yeah, we found a lot of the newer tokens are doing that. Just a lot of new tokens out there. They just have a tax on when you purchase. Some of them are higher than, some of them are 10%, some of them are 5%, some of them are 8%. But when you buy the token, and most of their tax just goes to, maybe 2% goes back to the actual buyer, and the other goes to whatever initiatives they're trying to implement.
Somebody moved me to the audience.
They moved you to the audience.
They moved me to the audience. Thank you for allowing me to come back to the stage, fabulous folks. Whoever sent me to.
I was like, hey, it stopped. I can't hear anything. Oh my God, Najah's in the crowd. What just happened?
It's all good. You know, Clubhouse, you know, when black folks are really, really doing some incredible things, you know, stuff crazy tends to happen, but it's all good. We appreciate you. But thank you, Frederick, for paying attention to that. So anyway, so back to the token. So what blockchain is this token on?
So it's on the Binance smart chain right now.
Binance Smart Chain.
Our goal is to build our own blockchain.
Okay.
So we have, you know, a lot of plans coming down the pipeline, and I'm just going to give a glimpse of this. If Dre doesn't mind me sharing.
Yeah.
So, you know, we want to create the Beyorch Digital Network, you know, our open source software platform, you know, where things can be built on and have our own blockchain. But we want to be known as the corporate entity of crypto, where, you know, companies don't just come for us for loans and investing, but we want to create a corporate NFT marketplace.
Okay.
So, you know, digitizing assets is becoming really popular right now.
There comes that word, y'all, NFT. So we're going to talk about that in a second. But go ahead.
So, you know, people are digitizing everything right now. Mm-hmm. And so we want once our blockchain is built or our digital network is built, we want to have a marketplace where if you have digital assets, real estate, if you have an LLC, a business, you want to digitize that. If you, whatever it is, you can put it in our marketplace. And guess what you have to use for the gas fees? Our token. So we have a lot of plans that we want to implement. We don't want to just be, you know, Celsius. We want to be, as Dre would say, we want to dominate, you know, the industry that we're in, or come close to it. So we're going to do the best we can.
Okay. All right. And thank you for giving us a glimpse into that. But I do want to find out from you why you chose the Binance Smart Chain.
So we switched over to that based on one of our advisors when we were first starting out. He said, look, a lot of people, you know, that look like us aren't going to be able to buy it because Ethereum gas fees are way too high with the tokens. Mm-hmm. And I've experienced, I tried to buy a token. I was trying to spend $100 on a new token, and the gas fees cost me almost $300. And I didn't buy it because of that. Right. So we started off on the Ethereum blockchain and we switched over to Binance just to save on the gas fees and help others save on the gas fees. Okay. But our ultimate goal is to switch our token to our blockchain once we fully develop it.
Okay, and just out of curiosity, how long do you think it will be that our community has to wait till you get your own blockchain?
You know what? We're going to be patient with it. We want to get it right. So we don't want to give out any, you know, any wrong dates, but it's going to take a while to perfect it and get it right. Okay. So we have long-term vision with the company. It's not going to happen overnight. You know, if you're looking at this token to get rich overnight, that's not going to happen. All right. Because we are a long-term company. We are positioning ourselves for where the industry is going and where it's going to be. We want to be smack dab in the middle of critical mass when it hits.
That is awesome. That is awesome. And so that's one of the things, and I'm glad that you said that. And so I'm always honest in talking to community about cryptocurrency specifically, because you both have actually been in the game as long, if not longer than I have. And we understand, all the tuition that we paid to this point. And so when I'm talking to founders about coins and what they're bringing to our community, I want to know that you've experienced the losses and understand the get rich quick mentality and are not that type of company bringing that to our community, because that is lethal.
Right.
It's lethal. It's actually detrimental to our community right now that we make sure that people are getting with the right companies. And that's why we do have this Coin-O-Nomics once a month to really get down to the nitty gritty to see who are we talking to, who are we investing with, are we talking about getting rich quick? And most folks that come into this space are talking about that. So it's very refreshing for me to hear you say, we're going long term. We're looking at where the industry is going, not where it's at right now, because most people are looking for that fast, quick dollar. And I can appreciate that. And so with that point being said, I wanted to make sure, because we do have people that are just learning about cryptocurrency and blockchains. So you were hearing Kenneth talk, and I want to make sure that I'm pointing out that there are different blockchains, because a lot of people tend to think that there's one blockchain because all they hear people say is the blockchain, the blockchain, the blockchain. And so when you all do build out your blockchain, it will be a different blockchain than the Bitcoin blockchain or the Ethereum blockchain or the Binance Smart Chain, those sorts of things. So I want to make sure that everybody is really aware of that as we move forward. So time-wise, because I want to leave some time for individuals to come up to the stage, some of the individuals that may be on social media. Ladies, you're going to have to help me bring those questions up. But to anybody else that's on Clubhouse that may have some questions, and I know Frederick is going to have some questions. I know Frederick sent me to the bottom of the stage too. I'm just teasing Fred. But if we have any questions, I want to leave a little bit open so that folks can ask them some questions. So we are ready for you. Go ahead, Frederick.
Okay, so are you telling me I'm thinking I saved you? I'm the one that sent you to the bottom.
I don't know. I'm just teasing you. You know I don't care.
Okay, because I'm like, man, what is really going on? So, first of all, guys, you get the hat tip for venturing out and doing the entrepreneurial thing. I'd like to offer up a recommendation for you. Check out Solano. I'm gonna try to add this real quick so you can see it as my thumbnail. Real quick, so you can, and then I think because I'm not the best at Clubhouse, but I gotta pull down and refresh it, right, y'all?
So how about we just ask the brothers, did you take a look at the Solana blockchain?
Right.
Yes.
So take a look at the Solana blockchain. The fees and things may be even lower. I don't know for what your purposes are, but the fees may be even lower, and it may increase the probability of success for you guys because it's more. It may be more friendly. I don't know. I think I put a question in there for Najah. Oh yeah, I was asking, can you guys put the ticker for your coin in the thumbnail? I don't know if Miss Najah is willing to do that so everybody can see it. Kind of like a marketing deal, because we're talking about your token, and as you talk through it, right, we can't really see what it looks like or where we can get it. That would be kind of cool to do that.
Well, you know what? In all the 68 people that are sending me back channel messages, I'm trying to hold the phone so you can hear Andre and Kenneth. I cannot answer the question, so I need y'all to raise your hand and come to the stage, because this is gonna get really, and try to look at this camera. So this is but I do have some questions in here. Q, can you come to the stage? All you guys, please come to the stage. If you want to ask a question, if you're too shy, we'll get the answers to you a little later. But any questions that you have, please feel free to raise your hand so we can bring you up. But
Miss Najah, if you want me to. So
What's-
you'll have a free hand.
Okay, what's the ticker for your ticker symbol for your coin?
It's BDIG. BDIG.
BDIG.
BDIG. Well, Beyorch Digital.
So
BDIG.
yeah, if that says, let me see, BDIG,
This is funny. You are funny. Well, you know what? Just because I just left Miami with you and I know your heart, I'm not. I just love you. You are just something else. So I appreciate you. But we're gonna make sure we get these brothers. We gotta make sure we get, because we're going to also tell you how to get in contact with them. But I wanted to open it up for questions. So are there really any other questions real quick, Frederick? Oh, he hooked y'all up. He put your exchange at the top of Clubhouse.
Oh, thank you.
So that
Thank
was
you,
that
sir.
was well done, sir. Well done.
Thank you, sir.
So the only other question I have is, so if you guys are kind of like the Celsius, why wouldn't the cost of the taxes kind of be included in the cost of the token, so it's like transparent to the person? So when they buy the token, you know what I mean, what goes to taxes, it doesn't even show. Because if I buy something and I'm thinking, hey, I'm buying it at $1.90, and then it shakes out to $2 per token, I might think I'm getting shortchanged or something. Why? What's the thought process from a technical perspective why you would do that? I'm not sure why that happens.
Well, the tax is automatically built in. And so I kind of understand what you're saying, but the purpose of the tax is that we want people that are buying our token to know that the good portion of this tax is going to help out our community. So if you're purchasing or buying this token, and you have a heart for the people and you have a heart to give back, know that a large part of that tax goes to helping students. That is the whole go beyond mindset. The go beyond rich mindset is not just thinking about yourself and how much money you can accumulate, but what do you do after you get the money? Are you going to help somebody else out? Are you going to give back? And that's the whole purpose of us adding that tax to the token when we sat down as a group. Like, what can we do to make it easy for somebody to not only, exist in our ecosystem with our token, but actually, when they buy it, it means something. Like when you walk away, like, I bought that token, but I'm helping somebody else out that may not have had a chance that I have. Because most people that invest in crypto, you got some disposable cash because it's very volatile. You may win, you may lose. But if you have that disposable cash and you're actually able to help somebody out because you have it and they don't, that was the purpose behind putting that tax in the token.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. That answered my question. And I'll look out for you guys to support you for sure. Best of luck, guys, for sure.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So let me also ask a question really quick as it relates to investing in your token. Are people able to actually invest now? Is there a seed round open? What does that look like? How are you not going to wind up in court like Ripple, XRP? So can we hear a little bit about how that's going?
So we are in private sale right now, and you can buy it directly from the Beyorch Digital website. The token is 33 cents. And if you go sign up for an account, click buy, you can go through that process.
What's the process for the newbies?
So the process, you sign up, you just put in your email and whatever a password, and then takes you to the page where you can buy token.
Okay.
And then you buy the token, and you can, it basically gives you the instructions on what to do. And once you buy the tokens go to your back-end account. After pre-sale is over, those tokens get released to you in stages because we don't want to release all the tokens, and then there's a lot of rug pulling and stuff like that. So the tokens get released in stages, and that's kind of explained as well.
So you helping us save ourselves.
Yes.
All
yes.
right. And that's needed. That's needed so that it does not. So give us the website. And I know they have it on Clubhouse, but give us the website as well. And I believe Erica type it in and make sure that you all are good.
So the website is beyorchdigital.com. That's BEYORCH digital, all one word, .com. beyorchdigital.com.
All right. So if they go and invest today, they have to wait until pre-sale is over. Then they're going to have their tokens released a little bit at a time. And the need for that, he just explained. And so for some individuals that may not want to wait, that's mandatory that they wait for the slow release.
So the tokens, they will show up in the back end immediately when you buy them. You'll see them there. It is mandatory that we release them a little at a time, just because we don't want to hurt the community.
Right.
And so that's why we just encourage anyone looking to invest in our token is to think long term. But here's the thing with crypto, and this is one of the things that I learned, is you gotta think, if you believe in a project and you think that project is innovative, you think it's gonna solve a problem, it's like investing in a business. You invest in a business, it's not going to turn over, a profit overnight. It takes time for that business to grow. It took time for Uber to grow. It took time for Apple to grow. Mm-hmm. So what we're saying is, if you're going to invest in our token, invest and believe in the company and know that we are here to solve a problem. There is going to be a problem down the road. And if we position ourselves to be a lending and investing company on the traditional side, as well as the crypto side, the people are going to come to us.
Right.
And then as we implement all the other things that we want to implement, just know that we're positioning ourselves for long-term success. And as an investor, look for long-term success. Look for that 33 cent to grow and hopefully, elevate to, whatever. I don't like to throw out numbers, but my suggestion is purchase a token and watch it grow with the company, because that's how you become successful in crypto. That's how I started to become successful in crypto. Not thinking, oh, look at it shot up, let me sell it. No, sit back, because it's going to go up, it's going to go down, it's going to go up, going to go down. But if you hold it and that's any coin, that's Bitcoin or any other coin you believe in. Of course, there's a lot of trash.
Don't believe in all.
But if you believe in a certain project,
don't believe in.
And there are some projects that actually grew and that it made a lot of people a lot of money because they held on to it through the different cycles.
Yes.
And now they become successful crypto investors.
Agreed. So for a novice person or a person that's listening today, if they invest in the token specifically, they can conceptualize, or they can wrap their brains around the fact that they may ultimately be investing in a new startup company that's getting started in the tech space that is soon to be or will be $1 billion company at a later date.
Look at it like that. Yes.
Right. So that is what the utility of these tokens are, is that those funds are being lent out to companies that you all have vetted and feel like are going to be unicorns in a space.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And so one of the other questions, while those tokens are on a slow release, is there going to be staking? So if I'm having to leave my token on your platform or in the wallet, even though I can see it and I can't do anything with it, are you giving me staking?
That is one of the first things that we want to implement because of that. And our staking program, we want to do as high as 18%.
Okay.
So that is our goal. But staking is one of the first things that we want to implement.
18%. So that's going to help offset some of these bank loans they're giving y'all for 18%.
Now, that 18% is for people that have a large amount of tokens.
No,
Not
I know.
for everybody.
I'm teasing. I'm teasing, but I'm saying some folks that we sit with, their interest rate on some of these credit cards are 18%. So we need something to offset. So we may start looking at some strategic ways to make some stuff happen. So no, that's incredible. So are there any questions, Sam, that we have?
Yeah, Erica.
All right. And Miss Najah should have worn glasses today. So you're gonna have to and this is our first time having somebody in studio because we're always on Zoom or have been since COVID. So will the recipient of the purchase in some fashion, nonprofits, will the recipients of, it says control D in there, so I can't read her whole question.
Will it be any write-off for the buyer? No, it won't.
I want to make sure that I'm sure you understand it, but I want to make sure that the other listeners are kind of understanding what our question is. We have some questions from live. So give us a second. Oh, she's actually sending it to me. Oh, it says, will the recipient of the tax be known to the purchaser in some shape, form, or fashion? So if somebody is purchasing tokens, will we know exactly what nonprofit organization you are actually investing or giving back to?
Yeah, it's going to HBCU colleges, and we will definitely send a press release for each one that we partner with. There's a few that we are in talks with right now, but there will be a list for each partner that we partner with, so you can see which scholarships and which schools are participating.
So yes, you will be able to see which schools. And then, of course, he did answer you already, Miss Peggy. You will not be able to get a write-off for that.
And the reason why is because, crypto is still technically not a currency. It's
Property.
Yeah, it's property. So we can't provide that.
Okay. And we may have to talk about that because I think you're able to do a little something. Okay. So, and we'll make sure, Miss Peggy, and we're here about working together. They're just starting, not just starting because they've had their company for a couple of years, but we're all working through a lot of different things as the laws and regulations change. And I think I have a resolve for them in that respect as well too. So I'll share that with them, as well as the fact that we are definitely looking at trying to see what we can do, because we've got some projects that we've not yet announced. Even your fabulous public relations individual doesn't know some of the things that we have and want to talk to you about. So we'll do that offline while we have you all here today. And somebody else asked online, what are the thoughts of a DAO, which is a decentralized autonomous organization? For those of you who don't know what a DAO is, and building out the infrastructure for the sector. Are you familiar with DAO?
Familiar with it, but what do you mean by that question?
I think, and because I know about DAOs and I just formed a couple, so I think really what everybody is trying to say is this person is probably trying to say is whether the organization, the DAO, makes the decision as to what child or what college actually gets the grants, because it's a community of people that make those types of decisions, and not you just saying, well, I like this HBCU because this is where I went to school, and this is where this is where the biggest fraternity is that I belong to, and that sort of thing. So a DAO would allow having a DAO incorporated in your business structures would allow for the community to say, hey, well, we like this child and what they're doing the best, and they would be able to pick who and where the money goes for that particular scholarship or grant. So if you're not thinking about it now, it's all right to say that. So
Well, no, we weren't, because the scholarship and all of that process is going to be driven through our Beyorch Foundation.
okay,
And it's going to be up to the student. They will have to go through a process through that foundation, and it's up to the student which school that they're choosing, as long as it's an HBCU school.
so you're going to catch these students in high school.
Yes,
they're
they're
going
going to have the
apply,
opportunity to apply and receive.
and then as long as they're going to a HBCU, then
that's one of the first qualifications.
Okay, so I understand that, and thank you for bringing clarification. I thought you were going to already work with HBCUs, maybe the students are already there or whatever, but thank you for that clarification. And it looks like we have a couple of more questions coming up. If not, we will move on. And for those of you that are on Clubhouse, this is the weirdest thing. Yeah. Well, you know what? We're not even going to sweat the small stuff because I don't know what is happening with our Clubhouse. So, yeah, we are here. We're back to you. I don't know what's.
Hello? We can't hear you, ma'am.
It not only kicked me out the room, it put me on mute. So this time I was out of the room. So it's all good. But we've got the best information. So is there a number, or I know there's a website, is there anywhere else, or however they can follow you on social media? How do they find you on social media?
So we have a Telegram group, Beyorch Digital, on Telegram. We have an Instagram account, Beyorch Digital, Twitter, Beyorch Digital, LinkedIn, Beyorch Digital. Email us, info@Beyorch Digital. There's always someone to answer any questions that you have. And if you go to the Beyorch website in general, the numbers there, email, everything. So we always make ourselves available for any questions, for any concerns. So you can hit any one of those platforms, or just email direct at info@Beyorch.
And when is the last day that they can get in on the pre-sale?
As of right now, December 1.
December 1st?
December 1st.
So today is the 16th. So we got 2 weeks to get our house in order. to be in movers advantage, yes. So December 1st is the end of pre-sale for Beyorch Digital Tokens. And we want to make sure, and as you all see that at the top of my screen, it says the black market. Inside of the Virtual Underground Railroad, which is my personal social media platform that we just did a soft launch on. We will have Beyorch inside of there with their information as well. And we will be making sure that they're included in the black market as we move forward with building out of the Black Wall Street wallet with Mr. Gil Harper. We've already had a conversation, and that's a done deal. So we're looking to work with these brothers, and it's just really, again, refreshing to know that our community is supporting and really trying to figure out how we work together. We're all doing something different, but even if we were doing the same thing, we need to be working together for the betterment of our community. And building these Silicon Hoods across the United States is going to take a company such as yours. We definitely need to be talking to people that look like us, because one of the things and why we've moved so slow, because we have felt like with the Black Wall Street wallet as well as crypto blockchain plug, that when you pull back the layers, it needs to be us that you're pulling back the layers on, and it's not looking like Green Dot Bank and some of the other things that folks are doing just because they want the money and they want to get their projects going. And I'm glad to see you all on the scenes. I was super excited, when Quasi gave us a call about you and what you stood for. We haven't been as fast to do some of the things that we were doing because we've really been building and really trying to figure out. We've got to adjust with the regulations on the drop of a day, not on the drop of a dime. It's got to be a pivot. And so I think that we're in a great space right now to really see what type of collaborations we can do. I know that I see some folks on the stage that have companies and are looking for VC funds and those sorts of things. So I'm asking everybody to reach out to these brothers and see what it is, they have to offer you, and just know that they are here. And as we start to talk to our community about going from holding, if they absolutely need the money, to a place where they can take out a loan, we would look to them first to find out what their interest rates are, how their programs work, and really get a handle on how, when the market is losing its value, how we can make sure that that asset that's being held as collateral is not lost. And I've seen that with platforms. I have an adult son that had that situation. He lost an entire Bitcoin earlier this year to a platform. And so I know, when the price drops, it's inevitable, but how we really buffer our community from taking those types of losses. So looking forward to it. So we have definitely gone over just a little bit, but is there anything, Andre or Kenneth, that you want to add today?
Just thank you for having us, and we're super excited. And man, this is definitely a journey. We're just looking, I philosophize around a lot of things, and one of the things is this, as it relates to customers, we're looking to do business with people who believe what we believe. And in terms of our customer base, and we're just saying, listen, we're writing this thing out, we're looking for our customers to do the same thing with us. Before this crypto term, there was really never an opportunity to actually ride with a company before, because by the time that you found out about a company, and by the time the company goes public, now you can ride with them. Well, they're already big. They've already raised $18 billion, $14 billion or whatever. And so at that point, now is a time where you can actually ride the wave, a place where you belong. You were there in the beginning. That's why, buying assets at pre-sale, why it means so much. It's more than just the money. It's the meaning behind. Mm-hmm. And that's what we're about.
Is there any minimum? Let me ask that, because I know somebody back channeled that.
So the minimum has been lowered for just about anybody to get in. You only have to buy 500 tokens, which is equivalent to $165 to.
Y'all, come on now. Come on now.
It was higher, but we decided.
And I know the argument that you could take $160 and buy you some Bitcoin. I absolutely want you to do that, but I also want you to forego maybe that lunch at one of the cheesecake factories, or that bottle of wine that you're gonna go out and get, and really, support these brothers. And I say it all the time. Bitcoin is where we go for that digital gold. And I say this all the time. And I say, when we're looking at other coins, it's been my experience that you invest in a coin because you believe in the project, or you're supporting the project. And it's just like loaning money to your cousin. You may or may not get it back. But if you don't get it back, you're not salty about it, because you did it for the purpose. And the purpose here is to help fund and build another Black business, number one, and to have the opportunity to be able to eventually, when you're building out your company, say, I'm not only an owner and an investor in this company, but now I'm asking you to take a look at my business. If it's viable, they say yes. If it's not, they say no. But again, you're helping build something, but also the mission too, to give back to children that are going to HBCUs, and to make something happen and just be the change that we want to see. So that being said, this is a great company. They have a great token, and I believe it is a great asset to our community. And I'm looking forward to sharing more about what I'm doing with these gentlemen, not because they paid me, not because they've given me any tokens, and I made that clear. It's going to be on the merits of what they're actually doing, and my husband and my ability to invest, and not only invest, maybe play a part in them being a partner with us, because that's what this thing is about. And so I say that with all humility, that I really respect what they're doing, and I want to be as 100 with our community as we can. and make sure that we're getting the best products. And so that is where we are today. If there are no more questions on Clubhouse or online, we want to just say thank you all. Just watch our social media, and I'm going to start tweeting some of the things. My team's getting on me about tweeting. So I'm going to start tweeting when we do partnerships. So this will be one of the partnerships that you all will hear about as far as I'm concerned, because y'all know I'm dollar cost average in Bitcoin. So I don't need to tweet that out, but I will tweet out, when we invest and when we support these brothers. And it'll darn sure be before December 1st, because I do not want to get left out. Yes, I am on FOMO, fear of missing out. So I'm on some FOMO right now, y'all, because we've been dealing with some of the other banking and internal things that we've been dealing with. But I appreciate you all coming out to Coin-O-Nomics and listening to these brothers. And again, I hope that you get involved, and I hope that we can look back in 10, 15 years and say we were here and Najah was sitting in the chair trying to hold the phone and doing these things. And these brothers not only have a $1 billion business, but they have created and helped other people get $1 billion businesses. And we can all be on the unicorn lists in the next 5 to 10 years, because it is absolutely doable. There's a gentleman that just came to the room. I know he's been listening to me because he's been here all day. He's Enrique. I'm gonna bring him in right now because Enrique needs to talk to these brothers today. And so we're gonna do that. And this is for real. This is our lives. This is an opportunity for us to really make some things happen. So that being said, good night to each and every one of you. Have an incredible rest of your day. And again, thank you for joining Coin-O-Nomics. If you haven't already done so, press the green house above at the top, so you will know when Crypto Blockchain Plug does our Coin-O-Nomics, our Bitcoin business basics, our Wine Women in Crypto, and also our On the Block. And the reason why we're not in the Black Bitcoin Billionaires, so I can make it clear, is that we want to make sure that we go by the guidelines, and the guidelines is Bitcoin only in that club, and we want to stay true to that. I love Lamar. I love the Black Bitcoin Billionaires and everything that we do there. And I also feel that our community needs a holistic approach to what's actually taking place, because if we don't know better, we don't do better. And it's time out for another 150 years of us being in the same financial situation we've been in. And I am your host, Najah Roberts. I call myself Young Harriet, and I am going to lead my family and my community out of financial slavery. So with that said, peace and blessings to you all, and I will talk to you all soon. Thank you very much. Hello, my name is Najah Roberts, and I would like to welcome you to the Virtual Underground Railroad. I'm really excited about this platform, and the reason why is because I got into financial services about 12 years ago, myself and my husband, because we really thought that we could be the change that we wanted to see. But the deeper we dove into financial services and the products that were being offered, we really realized that we couldn't help close the wealth gap, which is what both of us aspire to do. So the reason I'm super excited about this platform is because you're going to gain so much information. Listen, let's just keep it real. I pay a lot of money every month on subscriptions, and what I want to do is make sure that that information is at your fingertips, so you don't have to pay for it like I have to pay for it, because some of these things I have to know. But one thing is for certain, inside of my platform, the Virtual Underground Railroad, we have a 360-degree program. We pull together some of the top experts in different industries to ensure you have the right information from people you can know, love, and trust. And so we're excited about this platform today. Every single week, I will be coming to you personally. There will be an Ask Me Anything session. You are going to be so glad that you're a part of the Virtual Underground Railroad. And I'd like to say thank you first and foremost for trusting me with your family and your learning experience. Have an incredible time at the Virtual Underground Railroad. See you inside.